The Ravens breathed a sigh of relief after X-rays showed there was no damage done to Lamar Jackson's foot after he stepped on in practice last Wednesday. Head coach John Harbaugh said prayers do get answered after star quarterback missed practice Thursday due to the foot soreness. After Saturday's game, Harbaugh announced that Jackson is set to practice when the team gets back on the field today. The Ravens looking to become the first team ever to win 3 straight AFC North titles, but will need to get off to a fast start. So their win total for the season is set at 11.5 at ESPN Bet, but face 5 playoff teams from last season in their first 6 games. Quite the gauntlet to start their schedule. Stephen A., do you believe Lamar's foot injury is something or nothing for the Ravens?
I say it's something, but Ryan and D.O. understand where I'm coming from when I say this. If Lamar Jackson has a cold, it matters. If he's got gas, it matters. If this brother, if this brother is got the sniffles, it matters. If his hairdo ain't right and that bothers him, it matters. I don't give a damn what it is. He's so valuable to the Baltimore Ravens. I'm telling you, if he was running a practice and he bumped into D.O., okay, and he sat up there and all of a sudden they got in an argument and then his temperament ain't right, that matters. I don't give a damn what it is.
Why would he automatically get into an argument with me? Why would it be me?
Well, because it's you. If the equipment manager got him the wrong pair of socks, it matters. If he wears the wrong underwear, I don't give a damn what it is. This is Lamar Jackson. He's so valuable to everything that is the Baltimore Ravens. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Of course I'm being facetious, but I'm trying to make a bigger point. He is everything.
Yeah.
And I mean everything to the Baltimore Ravens. And they go where he takes them, even with Henry, even with Zay Flowers, even with Bateman, even with Lively and Andrews and all of these cats. It don't matter. With him, everything goes. The Ravens, everything is about Lamar Jackson. That's all I meant by saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Obviously, he's, one of the best players in football. I think you could say that for 4 or 5 quarterbacks and a bunch of the starters. Impactful. I think it's not a big deal. I really do. I don't think it's much. Obviously, he's incredibly valuable. But we all know that, one, this is one of the best rosters in football. It's probably the best roster in the AFC. If you take the Eagles out, it's probably the best roster in football. They'll have a top 5 defense. They'll have a top 10 offensive line. They got one of the best backs in football. So, all-encompassing, we know what this football team is in roster-wise, and we know that really in the regular season, as much as we love it and we want to watch it and be captivated by it, it really doesn't matter. What you do in the postseason is going to be the only thing that we are going to talk about from this point on for Lamar Jackson's season and career. So I don't think the injury is a big deal. And I think that even if Lamar Jackson somehow was banged up to start the season, this team would be completely fine in the long run.
And I know this isn't the conversation. Where we will probably get to with Lamar Jackson when it comes to regular seasons is going to be unfair.
It already is.
We are going to ignore the level of greatness we see. We are seeing something that's once in a lifetime in Lamar Jackson. As much as we look at a Michael Vick and how transcendent his play was and the way it may have changed the league, and then obviously Cam Newton, and now you see a Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson to me is more than that. He's made the position feel different. He's made it look different. He's allowed us to say that there are other ways to be an all-time great outside of just being a traditional pocket passer and still be one of the greatest, most efficient passers of all time, along with being the most electric athlete we've ever played, that's ever played the position. You talked about the gauntlet they'll face in 5 of the 6 first weeks of the season. And if they go 6-0, and if Lamar Jackson is off to an MVP trajectory, we'll come on here and talk about it. And then at some point we'll say, but we have to see what he does in the playoffs. And I think it's unfair, but it's where we are with his greatness, because we know what it looks like week 1 through 18. What will it be?
Then it's not unfair.
Then
it's not unfair. Then it's not unfair. There's nothing wrong. Listen,
it is, Stephen A. It is.
Hold on. Wait a minute. If you're great and it's universally recognized that you're great, then you want validation. It's the only thing that's left. And in the world of sports, it comes via the postseason. We all know that. And so it's not shade on him. It's it's acknowledgement of his greatness. When we look at Lamar Jackson, and it's time that we embrace this, what we're saying is, whatever it is that you do en route to those big moments, you do in the big moments. Not better, not worse. You just do what you do. That's all.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's fair. But I just feel like we can't live in the moment with him anymore, right? Like with Joe Burrow, because he beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship, and he's gone. I'm working to do so. Because I just feel like even in last year, you know, we rode that moment all the way to the playoffs, and you're almost begging for him to win because you know what the conversation is going to be. The conversation is never going to be about how the Baltimore Ravens failed. It's going to be about how Lamar Jackson didn't succeed.
But I see. But wait a minute. I'm talking right now. I'm listening to a Super Bowl champion who's an NFL analyst extraordinaire, and two of the most fair-minded people. I know I get on D.O. about his favoritism towards quarterback, but I love
Matthew Stafford,
I love messing with him. But we know that definitely, so no objectivity there. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is this. Y'all are very, very fair-minded, and there's nothing wrong, because I root for people too. There's nothing wrong with y'all rooting for people. But what I'm saying to you, Ryan, is listen to what you said. You're working to get there. This is something that's your natural disposition. But when it comes to Lamar Jackson, you have to work to get there, because you know in your heart of hearts, when you're that great, all we're waiting for, nothing else.
There's 8 quarterbacks in the league this year that the regular season really doesn't matter. They're groups
Allen?
of 4. Josh, Patrick, Lamar, and Joe. What do you do when it matters the most? And one of them we know is going to show up, Patrick. And then there's a group of 4 that it doesn't that much either. Dak Prescott, he's been in that group for a couple years. Jalen Hurts, because of how well he's played in big-time moments. Stafford and Rodgers, because the legacy a little bit is on the line for those two.
We got to leave it there.
I would add Justin Herbert to that as well.
All right. He's favored to win his third MVP. Ravens co-favorites to win the Super Bowl this year as well. We would all love that. Coming expectations for Caleb Williams with his new offensive-minded coach and Ben Johnson. Last year's #1 overall pick looks to get back on track after a down first season, but it hasn't been smooth sailing as he learns the new offense. Here's Ben Johnson on his team's sloppy play in the preseason finale.
Offensively, first 2 possessions was really sloppy football that has plugged us in and out of camp so far, and unfortunately that's what we got here tonight. You know, if the first quarter was really any indication, it's not good enough. So we got to get better in a hurry. Good news is, we'll be able to look at this tape and coach it up with our guys, and I think it's out of our system, hopefully, for us going into the regular season. But yeah, we got to make sure that we start faster on offense and on defense.
Let's lock in on Caleb Williams here. What's on the line for him this season?
If Caleb Williams doesn't play well, he's going to get the Anthony Richardson treatment.
Really? Okay.
Next year, they're going to bring someone in to compete with Caleb Williams for the starting job. When I listen to Ben Johnson doesn't sound like a patient man. Ben Johnson sounds like a man who understands offense, who understands what good offense looks like, and who understands quarterback play. Everybody's going to give Caleb Williams the mulligan that I felt he deserved for last year under Matt Eberflus. But if you look at some of these plays here on the screen, Caleb Williams knows he can't deliver this ball. Take the check down, take the swing route, give him an opportunity to play. This is good. This is good, Caleb Williams here. And now we're going to watch. He's going to hit this sail route, right? We're going to see a China here. The corner is going to stay tight to the coverage. And now we have a cover 2 high safety. That cover 2 high safety is going to let Caleb Williams know if we get a corner that dives down right now, we can go over the top to the corner route. That's a good play. That's Caleb Williams executing. That's Caleb Williams having the ability to see the field because he's starting from the shotgun. We saw some other things from Caleb Williams that weren't good, playing under center, the fumble on the jet sweep, him not getting the football out of his hands, taking a sack when he had an easy throw. And so for Caleb, it's going to be a situation where if he doesn't play well, if Ben Johnson doesn't feel comfortable with his progression, they're going to bring in the veteran. They're going to bring in someone who can play under center, who can run play action pass, who can execute the run game to the pass game and make things look similar the way we saw Jared Goff next year. And if he doesn't win that competition, it's going to be Caleb Williams having to go somewhere else to ply his trade, which I believe he could be successful doing because he's competitive, he's extremely intelligent, and he's also very talented.
S.A.?
RC's not wrong, of course. I mean, I get where he's coming from. It's just that I have a hard time stomaching putting Caleb Williams in the same sentence as Anthony Richardson in any way. I just don't see it. I mean, I just think that last year, this brother was on suicide watch, being sacked 68 times, about 16 times more than anybody else in the National Football League. Now, certainly some of that he was culpable for because you're holding on to the ball for a little bit too long, and we get that, and that's something that he's going to have to clean up. And you're right about Ben Johnson. He's not going to be very patient. This is a man that really, really established himself, especially over the last 2 years in Detroit as his offensive coordinator and his play caller, and their offense was pretty damn elite. And he know what he was brought there to do. It can't be one of those situations where patience is the order of the day. They believe they've got a team that can at very least can compete right now. And they brought in a coach that they obviously believed in, that everybody universally recognized was the right man for the job for that particular position in Chicago. And so I look at it from that standpoint, and I expect a significant upgrade for Caleb Williams. You're not wrong, because if that upgrade doesn't show itself to be the case, they're going to blame him more so than they're going to blame Ben Johnson. That's
absolutely.
for sure. You're going to get a veteran. You're going to get a veteran up in there, and you're going to go from there. But I believe in this kid, and I believe whereas Anthony Richardson left a lot on the table, Caleb Williams, I think, is far more advanced than Anthony Richardson is in my estimation.
Yeah, that statement is accurate. Are you the future or not? They'll know. They'll know after this season, like, yeah, we got a chance with this guy, or uh-oh. So, couple things. Number one, and I'm not putting these guys in the same conversation, but they just signed the backup quarterback to 2 years for $10 million with the chance that the contract to go to $16 million. They don't think he stinks, okay? Just they don't think he stinks. I'm not putting them in no job jeopardy, but are you going to be the future or not? This offense that Ben Johnson runs, which is like that Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay world, okay? Jared Goff, the first season that Ben Johnson took over as the play caller in Detroit, 4,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 picks, 99 passer rating. Tua Tagovailoa, his first year with Mike McDaniel, very similar scheme. His first year under Mike McDaniel, 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks, a 105 passer rating. Jordan Love, his first year under Matt LaFleur, very similar scheme. In 2023, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a 96 passer rating. Kevin Stefanski's first year with Baker Mayfield, 27 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So the expectation is that Caleb Williams is going to eclipse 30 touchdowns, 4,000 yards, and have a passer rating somewhere north of the high 90s. And if he doesn't get there, there will be questions in the building if he is the future.
What about the fact that last season he was sacked 68 times, 16 more than any other quarterback? How does that play into the equation?
One, a lot of those are on the quarterback. And then two, the offensive line was poor play. The number one thing Caleb has to do is play faster. It's to not play hero ball. It's to not hold on to the football. Part of his job in development this year is make the offensive line look better instead of making the offensive line look worse. It's a big burden. It's an unfair burden. That's going to be the biggest part of his growth. We talked about it a little bit this morning, Stephen A. Right now, he's really good in the shotgun.
Yes.
He's awesome in the shotgun. That's what's best for Caleb Williams right now. I don't believe that's what's best for the Bears offense, because I don't think it's best for the run game and for the offensive line and where they block. And I don't think it's best for the timing of the pass game and the development of the play-action pass game. So one of the parts of this story is, can he become as good from the underneath center position as he is in the shotgun? And can Ben Johnson run all of the offense that he wants with Caleb as the guy?
Yeah, but that's the compromise that has to be made, right? That's the compromise that Ben Johnson has to make. Ben Johnson has to say that this isn't just about me. This is about our team.
Right.
And what's great for Caleb Williams is great for our team. And part of that is knowing what the adversity has to be, uncomfortable it is. And it seems that Caleb Williams is pressing himself just as hard as Ben Johnson is to get these things understood, to get the football out of his hands. But Ben Johnson, who does seem to be a young offensive genius, is going to have to figure out how this works. Is going to have to figure out how Caleb Williams plays well while allowing his offense to progress as well.
Stephen A., last word here.
Well, we got to watch Caleb Williams from the standpoint that he's going to be pressing. We need to understand why that is. When you had Eberflus, it was a different animal. In Ben Johnson, in the 3 combined seasons he had in Detroit, they were number 1 in total offense and scoring offense. So if you're Caleb Williams and all of a sudden it's struggles that's taking place in Chicago with the personnel that they've given you and the head coach that they've given you, it's going to be his fault, and he knows it. Now, one could easily argue he may have always known that, but not as much last year. as it will be the case this year. And that's what it is. So we're going to find out what he's made of.